Hey, it's Two-Siders. Welcome back to another Against the Storm video. I wanted to show you the entire settlement at the very beginning of the video because we are doing a post-game commentary. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. I wanted to ask you guys a question. So I have a main channel and I have this secondary channel where I upload the Against the Storm replays. On my main channel, I have some Against the Storm videos. This 60 tips took me like 75 hours to make. But I have some other videos that, sometimes you spend 200 hours making something and people don't really want to watch it. And I guess that's totally fine. But what do you guys think about me uploading the replays instead of the small channel? Just start uploading every replay on the main channel. Maybe some of you guys are YouTubers yourselves and can give me some guidance because let me fix my camera. I swear every episode my green screen is getting worse, so I apologize for that. I try to fix it in the future. So basically, obviously it's not just about the views, but when you spend like 50 hours to like 200 hours making something and then like 600 people watch it, and then I do a replay like this in like 2 hours and 100 people watch it. Maybe it's time to communicate towards YouTube that I want to do Against the Storm and start uploading the replays on the main channel. I don't know. I wanted to keep it separate because obviously the replays are of a lower quality. It's just recording, but obviously, well, not obviously, but I could edit them a little bit for the main channel if I was gonna upload them on the main channel in the future. I don't know if it would be to the detriment of the main channel, but then again, I have other like non-Against the Storm stuff on the main channel that people want to watch, so maybe it would annoy those people if I started uploading replays every day. I just make tips about video games, and another series that I have is regarding like animal park content, so maybe people would be annoyed. But if I perhaps started uploading the replays on the main channel, then it would communicate to YouTube that I want to do Against the Storm, and there's quite a few other different stuff I want to do regarding covering this game other than the replays. So who knows? This game is pretty crazy in terms of farms. We are going back to our old ways. I'm gonna pick the Weaver here just because it can produce fabric at a pretty nice rate, and we do have harpies, so harpy houses will be easy to do. They only cost 4 cloth. Again, we have the frogs. It seems like every single game we just get the frogs, and we got them randomly. I was hoping for beavers, maybe humans, and something else other than harpies and frogs. We will do a bunch of house upgrading in this episode as well. I was pretty paranoid because of the Prestige 6. So Prestige 6 is a big milestone because all the buildings cost more resources. So for instance, camps cost 5 parts instead of 3 parts, and it's pretty massive. It's ridiculously big. You cannot really sell parts to traders anymore. You really need those parts. You are looking forward to completing orders that award extra parts. Luckily, we did bring the farm, as I always do, and we did start with some farmland actually in the very first glade. These are amazing cornerstone picks. So good. Getting +2 meat is awesome. 50% the amount of produced in the small farm, also really good. Both of them are pretty much the same because we did get the wrench, and I mean, we're gonna just use the grain to feed the ranch anyways. But getting +2 meat, I didn't even check at the end of the game what we got to meat. We have meat here, of course, with the small trapper camp, but I'm thinking long term. I'm thinking producing meat because we have harpies that only eat meat. Since the new patch, they only eat jerky and paste is a meat-based food. And the frogs. Frogs eat, obviously they eat porridge and pie, but paste they also eat again. So we need the meat for that. But not particularly a big meat game because we don't have, you know, lizards. Pretty much lizards, I guess. Right? Lizards and harpies. But I still decided to take the meat production. We are going to be, I don't want to spoil it, but we are going to be just fine. Throwing down a field kitchen. Unfortunately, when it comes to the paste, we'll have a lot of difficulty. I don't think I've created paste in this entire game. And you'll see why. The pigment dye that is required for the paste is just, I never really got a building for that. I was offered, but I always picked a different type of building. I don't think I had frog resolve. You know, getting a reputation from frog resolve, I never got that until the end of the game. They're quite disappointing. The fact that frogs don't have a basic housing need might tell you that, you know, that's why they are so difficult to please, but that's not simply it. Interestingly enough, the frog housing actually gives them a maximum of +5 resolve. So the other races would get +3 from basic shelters and +3 from species-specific shelters. Well, frogs get 5. One less in total, but then again, you don't need whatever the... No, I guess... Right, so... Wait, so... Species housing also satisfies the basic housing need, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so frogs just get 1 less. 1 fewer reputation points, but it really feels like they would need something more, like 3 to 5 more. I'm always, you know, just at the edge of frogs not building me reputation, and that sucks. It really sucks. Here we have a glade event, and unfortunately, like I said, we really need the parts. We don't want to sacrifice the parts, but I'm just gonna sacrifice it for more fertile soil. I really didn't need to do that. I should have just got into more glades. It really doesn't matter. This isn't a super farmy game. I should have just kept the parts and constructed, I guess, rain whatever, the rain collectors. Because it took a really overpowered cornerstone for us to find finally a geyser that I could use later. Let's speed this up. So in the first storms, I'm just trying to make villagers stay. I'm not trying to please anybody too much. And the frogs are at 0, which is an issue because at this point in prestige, whichever prestige level it comes, but the storm is twice as long. So, oh, and also the storm is twice as long and villagers leave like twice as fast. As you can see, the frog timer is really, really fast. At this point, I don't have my headphones on, so unfortunately I make the only frog that we have leave because I'm stupid. I'm not listening to the audio at all. But it's fine. Not too big of a deal. It's interesting that someone was asking on the Reddit forums, like, how can you tell if people are leaving? And there is a sound cue. I gave some really specific examples for that sound cue. It's like some video games have that sound effect. I don't know if it's a violin or something else. Cello. whatever, but you can hear it. It's really interesting that when you don't have, you know, headphones on, that the game becomes that much more difficult. But oh well. We found a building that is salvageable, and also we got some large camps, so we can gather up that nice root garden there. That's gonna help us out a great deal, but not super forever, unfortunately. I didn't really realize at the end of the game how much those roots helped us. We probably just turned them into pickled goods and other stuff. I'm not even sure if we turned it into flour. Either way, we are producing a ton of grain already. I don't think I'm going to pick anything from here. 2 rain punk holding carts are not great. I would much rather have the upgrade that gives us a holding cart for every warehouse. Alarm bells, I'm going to pick up. Basically, you know, as you get the blight rot. As you get blight rot, at 100% it corrupts the hearth. Well, this upgrade, the more blight rot we have that we don't have destroyed, the more chances we have for double yields. We're basically gonna get like overall, like the best thing we can get is like 10% double yields, I think, with that upgrade. Because after that, the hearth is just gonna be like over 100% blight rot. But it's gonna be pretty good here in this game. We will complete an order that will even give us some hearth resistance. And now that I'm thinking about it, I should have taken more cornerstones that increase the hearth's resistance. Like this one, look. This is the order that I was telling you about. So we need to have 4 blight rots at the same time. Really easy to get. And we get 100 resistance. So normally it would take, at this prestige, I'm not sure about the higher prestiges, but at this level, 6 blight rot spores would equal around 100%. So we need to keep the blight rot down at 5, right? This is really, 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 really good, this order. We just need to deliver 50 eggs, 50 meat. We already have 75 eggs because we completed a bunch of quests this cycle and we got a bunch of extra starting eggs, which saved our ass here, to be honest. Though we could have created some using the wrench. We don't need to. We have a meat camp. We don't have enough meat, but we have a meat camp. And we're just gonna complete that pretty instantly. We will get a building where we can create jerky from, which is gonna be awesome for the harpies. We basically never run out of jerky until the end of the game because of the wrench. Again, we are going to be producing hundreds of grain. All of that is going to be used to create meat, eggs, and leather at the ranch. And leather will be awesome too, because the building that we are just salvaging in the glade is able to produce boots at like 2 stars or something like that. And frogs need boots, beavers don't, but harpies are the only race that require both boots and coats. Sounds nice. Boots and coats. Boots and coats. So we will get boots for these races continuously. And boots are much more interesting than coats because the benefit that they provide is that the races wearing them get a 15% movement speed bonus. Now 15% movement speed is awesome. It's like having, I don't know what the basic roads, I guess, provide 5%, stone roads provide 10%, I'm guessing, and then copper roads must provide 15%. So it's like they are running on copper roads without roads at all, right? And we'll be able to put down some copper roads, so that would be like a 30% movement speed bonus. Those frogs and harpies are running around crazy. Not that they really need to run around that much, because I try to strategically position the production buildings around the warehouse. Now, because we have so much fertile soil, we will be picking up another type of farm building that's nice. Don't worry, even though we pick the plantation, we will pick up the clay pit later. And let me tell you, the clay pit As all, oh, I'm so dumb. I should have hooked up the clay. I never hooked up the clay pit to the clearance guys here that we get later. Let's actually speed this up a little bit. It's nice that we have a replay and I can pause the video, fast forward whenever I want. So we got the Glade event done. Again, it wasn't a good choice to sacrifice like 12 parts or 9 parts for that leaking cauldron. But the other... I don't know if I was able to complete the event anyways the other way. The whatever, the evil way, right? One thing to note in this game, if I can give you a small tip, though you probably already know. Getting like +1 to production, they are not equal. Okay, some items are much better to get +1 for than others. So food items, clothing, service items, you always construct 10 of them, right? Like you create 10 jerky. Getting +1 to jerky would mean that you get 11 instead of 10, so it's a 10% bonus. That's not really great. But getting +1 to fabric, bricks, and planks, items that you only get 2 of, instead of 2 you make 3 of them now, that's a 50% increase. That's really, really good. Sometimes I see traders selling like +2 to fabric or whatever, +2 to bricks at the same price as, for instance, getting +2 or 3 to coats. And I just laugh because it's much better to get, well, it depends on the game obviously, but it's much better to get +2 to fabric, which doubles your fabric yield basically, than +3 to coats, which just like increases by 30%. Not even close. And in this game, because of the plantation that we picked up, we will be able to produce cloth material until the end of the game. So fabric will be used to create an interesting thing. As you can see, I de-assigned the farmers because they just did everything this season. One thing I really wish the game did, or if it was an option or a cornerstone or something, when farmers are done planting crops, taking crops, shining the dirt in the storm season, I really wish that they left and they did something else, like hauling, you know, resources to the warehouse or something like that. Because right now, you know, I de-assigned them from the farm, but I'm really scared because I'm gonna forget to reassign them to the farm. By the way, we got +1 to leather, which is actually really good, because you don't make 10 leather and 10 eggs, you only make like 4 or 5. So getting +1 to leather is like not a 10% increase, it's like a 25% increase, right? We have another order for doing trade routes that I really want to get done ASAP, because it will give us, I think, +1 to plank production. And again, +1 to plank production, a 50% increase. So I constructed some provisions using that really bad makeshift post. It feels really bad doing that, but you know, if you're producing something enough, then it doesn't matter too much. It's better to trade, get a little bit more money. Yeah, I just cannot create paste ever. It sucks. Should have taken something that can create dye, because making paste would have been free, like with the wrench. Just get eggs, get the meat. Like I should have maybe took the cookhouse, but I ended up taking the lumber mill, because the lumber mill is just, it's so convenient. At the makeshift post, you are creating like 2 planks from whatever, like 7 wood or something. At the lumber mill at 3 stars, it's 3 wood for 2 planks. It's ridiculous. We actually gonna have too much wood in this game. Maybe I shouldn't have picked up the lumber mill at the end of the day. But it is what it is. Yeah, that would have been better. But I didn't want to pick up that, whatever, cook house or what is it called? We can rewind. Hang on. Yeah, the cook house. Because, yes, it can create biscuits that 2 stars. You know, beavers like biscuits, but we don't have flour making capabilities at this point. It would have been nice for the dye, but making copper bars, I mean, there is no copper on this map at all. Not really sure how or why, but I ended up getting a lot of copper on this map from various stuff. I'm guessing just orders. I know I was offered a corner, you know, the cornerstone where it basically says that for every 5 wood that you produce, you get 1 copper ore. Maybe I got that, but I don't think I got that. That one, by the way, it seems really good, but it reduces the crystallized dew production by 1. It's still pretty good, to be honest, but you need to kind of play. It's really bad to take that upgrade if you get the hut later on, you know, the one that can create crystallized dew. I take the woodcutter's song here because we have the beavers. We're gonna cut a lot of trees, and it's just like pretty much a +3 to resolve. I'm not really sure how often, but pretty much all the time, I guess. Now, I want to take a lot of stuff here. I mean, everything is so good, but I just don't have anything to trade. I am going to trade all the meat. Let's speed this up. All the resin, all that good stuff for that measly 11 gold, just so I can get the clay pit. And the clay pit was super worth it. Don't get me wrong, but it still feels bad. You know, it is what it is. And by the way, we're just gonna need a lot of bricks for all those frog houses. We're gonna need a lot of bricks, guys. And we are not going to pick up a single building that can create bricks. So we'll be producing bricks at the really shitty, not the makeshift post, the crude workstation until the end of the game. There's going to be 1 frog on the crude workstation until the end of the game, just creating bricks. He's like autistically creating bricks all the time for us. And that's his job. But it's fine, because we are getting essentially an infinite amount of clay from the clay pit. I will hunt for a clearance gazier that is required. You need clearance water to get the clay pit working. Unfortunately, it's not just fertile soil. And I will take a really overpowered cornerstone that I pretty much only use to just find that clearance gazier. It's probably my favorite cornerstone. I just don't take it because it's just so overpowered, basically. That's why I don't take it. We need, we really need, not really need, but I want to give you a tip regarding the frog houses. I feel like it's important. I could be wrong. So, in this game, we'll produce a lot of building materials to upgrade the houses, right? It's not really worth it. Quite frankly, it's not worth it at all. For the first upgrade, at least. Because, and it's not just the frogs, upgrading the beaver houses or the harpy houses is just not worth it if you are only looking for housing more people. It doesn't even make sense, to be honest, to pick the upgrade that houses more people when it comes to beavers and harpies, because it requires 1, I guess it's worth it, because it requires 1 building materials, packs of building materials, but to create like 2 packs, not the wrapper, I mean, to create 2 packs of building materials, you need 5 bricks or 5 cloth or 10 planks or whatever. And it's actually around the same price to just construct another house that can house 2 anyways, so 1 more. So it's not worth it to upgrade the houses if you are just looking for space. Make sure to construct as many houses as you need first and then start upgrading them. However, when it comes to the frogs, there is an upgrade. Like the frog houses can be upgraded 4 times. Third upgrade, third level. By the way, we cannot do these this timed order. It's pretty much ridiculous. I'm not even gonna try. The third upgrade on the frog houses, I'll show you when we get to it. It does require a lot of packs of building materials and water, but every drizzle season, you get building materials just for free. For every frog living in the house, you will get 1 building material. And the first level of frog house upgrades, I started only picking the one that increases the number of residents by 1. So instead of 2 frogs, 3 can live there. And I used to think that was bad, like taking the... I just construct more frog houses, bro. Like I said, you know, because it's more worth it. I guess if you have a lot of... Yeah, I guess if you have a lot of building materials, you should construct just more frog houses. Just have 2 frogs in a house at any given time and it's fine. But, you know, having 3 frogs just increases the upgrades that you picked. You just get much better because you get upgrades like for every frog living in this house, you get some sort of an upgrade. Like a global working speed or double yield or whatever. So more frogs living in the house just increases the other future upgrades. Anyways, we are at 92%. Hang on, it's next to my arm. We are at 92% corruption level. And our upgrade is at like 10% double yields. Though, yeah, look at that. 10% double. That's pretty good. That's pretty good, you know. I mean, since the 1.4 update, you get 10% double yields anyways for just satisfying, I don't know, 2 food items. In case you didn't know, since the most recent 1.4 upgrade or update or patch, every complex food, and here we go, +1 to planks. Every complex food satisfied increases double yields by 5%. And every service increases double yields by 10%. So for instance, our harpies right now, we did create some paste, I guess, just a few of them. Our harpies are already doing double yields at 10%. But, you know, we get plus 10% from the alarm bells, cornerstones, so that's pretty good. 20%. And you have like an innate double yield chance anyways. The moving wheel icon increases it by 10%. And from the city upgrades, the viceroy upgrades, you also get some amount. Not really sure how much. Someone just made a forum post today asking the developers to put the double yields and like percentages chances somewhere in this game, right? So you don't have to go back to the Citadel to check it. I guess it's... Or put it on every building, basically. Which is... I guess it's good if you're playing on like a really high difficulty, but otherwise it doesn't really matter. It's like really specific, and you need really specific scenarios, I think, to... Oh, like I'm gonna assign these like exact race to do this because they have a 5% more chance for double yields, but not theirs. Like, oh, okay. Let's move forward. So here I'm thinking, you know, clothier, because of the coats. All building materials, we really need building materials for all those houses. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. As long as you are creating like infinite of a building material anyways, right? Press with the flour, with the oil. Flour, we need flour and we need paste is whatever, 1 star, doesn't really matter. And look at that, all of these are good. Granary is less good because you can already create fabric at 3 stars, but clothier are really good with the coats and building materials. But again, coats require resin. But the extremely overpowered clay pit can create resin now, so yeah, it's the best building in the game right now, the clay pit. So coats would be really good for the clothier. pack of building materials for the buildings. Press would be really good because we are basically creating infinite grain anyways, right? As a burning material. But then again, we have a good wood production. We need flour really badly. Not really badly, because harpies don't need it, but frogs and beavers do, though they eat different stuff. But there's the temple, you know. Temple can do religion and education, and we could satisfy both beavers, harpies, education, and frogs, religion. So I just picked up the temple for later use. I was contemplating for a long time, you know, there's not really any better service. There isn't really a better service building we could get. I mean, we'll get a really good one. Okay, that satisfies both frogs and beavers pretty well, but not even sure what the second one. We basically get the forum, okay, the frog forum, and I'm kind of sad because we did complete an order later where we get +2 frogs with every newcomer group, okay? This was the prime game to complete the Frog Utopia deed, but we just didn't really get that many frogs. The gods punished me because I let that first frog accidentally leave, remember, at the first storm. So I guess we just didn't get nearly enough frogs. We didn't get not even close to 30 frogs. So it doesn't really matter. I'm just talking about this because I saw a guy on the forums, Against the Storm Reddit subreddit, tried the Frog Utopia and he rerolled like 15 times using Amber to get the forum, and he didn't get the forum, and he had everything else. He had all the frogs and everything, just didn't have the forums. Got into Disclade, and Disclade is so bad. I don't really need fertile soil. I already sacrificed so many parts for that extra fertile soil, it doesn't even matter. And we got a really easy glade event that you never complete the positive way. There are some dead beavers, there are some dead villagers. And you never completed the loyalty way because you need to pay a lot of gold and you don't get anything in return but like only like half a reputation point. It sucks. That should be balanced. Those dead villager events should be buffed in terms of the loyalty event. And the other one is just like complete the event completely for free, but that race gets -12 resolve, and it's pretty bad, you know. -12 is a lot, but it's always manageable outside the storm. Now I make the mistake here. Let's... Oh, by the way, important thing. Since the 1.4 update, you see I clicked on that lock. You can, using that lock on the Blight Rot overlay, you can prevent the Blight Fighters from destroying certain amount of Blight Rot on a given building, which is something we really need here, right? Because we have, remember, we have the upgrade. Ah, my arm! Cut off my arm. We have the alarm bells upgrade, you see? We don't want to destroy too many Blight Rot, we actually want to keep it around 90% constantly. Which I didn't manage, by the way. I accidentally overdid it. It's actually 99% right now. That's perfect. But later on, it goes down to like 50% for some reason. I'm not even sure why. So that's why we lock the little overlay icon on certain buildings. But sometimes it's impossible to get exactly like 90% because you have a building that has like 7 Blight Rot. There's nothing you can do but destroy all of them because 7 is like way over 100%. So you have to like mess around with it a little bit. Unlock some buildings, Blight Rot, and lock some others. See? Rob the Dead is always like, oh, like pay 15 gold and 30 complex items and it's just not even worth it. But I do it too quick. I started doing it, to be fair, because I was there wasn't much time left. I also kind of forgot that the Glade Scouts didn't have to bring anything to the Glade event. That's another thing, like, you don't even need to bring anything to the Glade event for the negative version. Just like minus 12 resolve and nothing else. Yeah, I'm contemplating getting Smelter here because of the, you know, the whatever pie, but still no way to make flour. It doesn't really matter. And look, this is the upgrade that we get just to get a single Gazier, Ancient Pact. Most overpowered corners in the entire game. Now we can see into every single glade, and when we cut into a glade, all that happens is one villager dies. Who cares, right? It's so horrible. Sometimes you can even play off of that. So I'm looking at the glades for like 3 minutes here, trying to find the one and only clearance Gazier. And imagine doing this without this upgrade. It's crazy. It still feels like there's a lot of Drizzle Gaziers. Like so many Drizzle Gaziers. It feels like there's some clearance ones, but it's like really deep, you know. Guess I could have got into like a forbidden. Not even the forbidden glades have the clearance Gazier. It still feels like, in case you didn't know, there was sort of a bug in the game where there were too many Drizzle Gaziers, and developers changed this, so now they should spawn equally. But it doesn't feel equal at all. It feels like Drizzle Gaziers still spawn too often. So I don't know. Luckily, I found a clearance Gazier there. There's also one in the Forbidden Glade above it, but I don't really feel the need to cut into that Forbidden Glade anyways. I'm constructing a bunch of decorations because I'm just going to do a temple as well soon enough. Level 3 towns. You know, beavers are leaving still because of the event stuff, but it's just finished, I guess. Is it finished? We have so many beavers this game. It's insane. I think I already have like Beaver Utopia, if that's even a thing, but so many beaver houses constructed. Everything is gonna be upgraded. At this point, we just have so much grain. I'm starting to do vegetables, which is kind of bad because vegetables are produced at whatever cabbages are produced at 1 star instead of 2-star grains. We don't have a way to create porridge either for the frogs. We don't have a way to create flour yet, so I try so hard to make the first hearth area like nice and tidy, and then the second one just looks like dog shit every single time. Throwing down warehouses everywhere, right? But it really hurts because, again, every building at Prestige 6 costs more building materials. And warehouses cost parts. So that's kind of sucky. Before completing some of the orders lately, I didn't have enough parts to create some camps. Like I was missing like 1 or 2 extra parts. It really sucks if that happens. Especially if you need a... I will never effing understand that water geysers are, I think, much better than the normal like rain collectors, right? Because you can automate them and they are fast and efficient. They don't cost any parts. They just cost pipes and planks. On the other hand, the stupid rain collectors, especially even just the small shitty ones, cost 5 parts to construct at Prestige 6. They are so bad. And even if you get the advanced rain collector, I had a Prestige 6 game before where I picked up the advanced rain collector because I really needed it, and I just didn't have enough parts. I didn't have enough parts for that. I didn't have enough parts for the mine, which, by the way, also cost 5 parts in this prestige level. Again, we are getting offered the stupid furnace, and it's just not really much point of picking it, because nobody eats skewers here, by the way. Not a single race eats skewers. It would be kind of nice if harpies ate skewers, but alas, they don't. And I just cannot justify getting it for the copper bars and pie. Only frogs eat pie, which is kind of crazy. Harpies used to eat pie, and I made a video on the main channel about the, you know, the patch changes, where I talked about the harpies. Harpies were kind of awesome before. They were the worst race even before the patch, but the fact that they could triple dip in pies and biscuits was awesome. And now they have neither. Harpies really suck now to make happy. What's the word to make happy? Satisfy. But not as much as frogs, I'm telling you. Maybe I'm just stupid. I just really don't like frogs. Finally, we are producing pickled goods, and I'm thinking about placing... I always pick up a service building early on in my playthrough, and I always forget to place it for a really long time. And it's kind of like the decoration with towns. I always do that really late. Not always, but quite often. There's just so much other stuff to worry about, and decorations require a lot of wood that you don't always have, or you need planks and you just don't have it. You don't have enough villagers. You cannot justify the costs. Here we are constructing like a bunch of beaver houses, because beaver resolve is at 1. Not because of an event, not because of anything. It's just that constantly at 1. Because we don't have any more. We don't have the coats that we started with. We don't have any food that they like. We are just producing pickled goods now. Basically, we just relied on basic shelter and the beaver houses so far to keep them happy. And look, it's like -4 now because I signed an extra woodcutter. Oh, whatever. What are we gonna do? It's so important in this game. Something that you need to pay attention to constantly is the hostility levels. Like, sometimes it's much better to deassign just one woodcutter outside, even outside the storm, just because one hostility level less, everybody has +4 to resolve, and you can actually start generating reputation in the early game. And it's just up to 1 woodcutter, right? And then the next year, when hostility increases anyways, you can just reassign the woodcutter. It doesn't matter at that point. Assign 2, extra 2 even. The game offers me Explorer's Lodge. One of the worst service buildings in my opinion. So many times this game, it's not even funny. Obviously, Guild House, right? Like, auto pick, but it's just still so overpowered. I feel like I don't pick it. We are also not so much about trade in this settlement. We just get a bunch of wood. Like, get a bunch of wood, because I'm thinking, you know, we got the woodcutter song. Every 20 trees we cut down increases global resolve by 3. We're gonna get to 20 trees faster with that, 35% faster with that new cornerstone. I'm thinking, you know, producing pack of building materials, essentially, if from wood, maybe, right? Who knows? Both of these kinda suck. That's funny, I never really completed the Folks Gotta Eat one. Even though it offers us another service building, which is nice for, you know, the second town center, second hearth. Because you don't really want to place down the same service building at the second hearth to get to the level 3 neighborhood level, so. Here we are, look. This is what I wanted to show you. So we're upgrading the frog houses now, finally. Second upgrade. Whatever. Third one. Hang on. That will give us 3 packs of building materials. That one single house. It will give us 3 packs of building materials every drizzle season. And we upgraded like 5 frog houses or like 4 frog houses. That's like 12 building materials. That's awesome. To be honest, we didn't really need it because... Okay, spoilers or whatever. We are crafting the building materials at the stupid little makeshift post. It doesn't even matter from fabric. We just have an infinite amount of fabric because of the plantation, right? And we are producing fabric at 3 stars at the weaver. Obviously, we use it to get the harpy houses, but at that point, like, it's not even that much. Harpy houses, 4 fabric, who cares? Just turn all the rest of the fabric into packs of building materials and upgrade those houses. And we're gonna upgrade the beaver and harpy houses for sure as well, but we're not gonna get the extra space like I said. We're gonna get the other one, which is 15% like movement speed, which is pretty freaking good. Like, now that I'm thinking about it, some of the races have boots, like harpies. Harpies have boots. That's 15%. They run on copper roads, 15% again. And they are running 15% faster because of the house upgrade. They are running at a 45% speed. 145% technically, right? Those harpies are fast. Man, the new update just effed harpies so hard. I never pick up the last frog upgrade, by the way, because I never get quite enough like water and building materials for that. Look, like the beaver house, like the second level of builder house or beaver house upgrades always cost money, amber. I don't really want to spend 5 amber on upgrading the beaver houses, to be honest with you. It's like, I need the amber for other stuff, man, and it's not even that good. It's like trader stuff. I don't care about traders too much in this settlement. But yeah. Upgrading all of them. We can move the houses for free between halves since the new update, so that's also really good. I'm telling you, man, Beaver Utopia, 22 beavers, only 9 harpies, only 8 frogs. It's ridiculous. And it was, I think it was completely random. Like, we didn't get anything that... We didn't get an upgrade like, oh, get +2 beavers at every newcomers. No, this is just completely random and we get so many beavers. Another spoiler alert regarding this game. A woodcutter's song. Getting +3 to global resolve after cutting down 20 trees. We gotta get another one. We gotta get another cornerstone. So we gotta get 6+ to resolve after cutting down 20 trees. And I was thinking about getting 2 woodcutter camps, and I did get 2, but not with 6 woodcutters, because hostility is a bitch. Like, again, getting 2 woodcutter camps might produce a bunch of wood and, you know, as fuel, and woodcutter song triggers. Oh, by the way, not 100% sure about woodcutter song, but you know those cornerstones where, oh, when you discover a glade, global resolve increases. They freaking stack. Like, you discover 3 glades at the same time, and you get like +10 resolve with those cornerstones. It's crazy. And it's actually better to stack them because, you know, stacking resolve stuff is better. The worst thing that can happen is your race is like being just under the resolve threshold in the green. That's the worst thing that can happen. At that point, you might as well turn... Oh, I don't do it because it's... I'm not that good of a player just yet. But at that point, you might as well turn off all the complex food that they eat, that race eats, and just wait for resources to accumulate and then stack them together, you know, in a burst. Especially if you have a lot of them, if a lot of species. It's hard to communicate. I still have a sore throat 3 months later. God damn. But it's also hard to communicate what I want to say. I've been basically thinking about... at the beginning of a game, it's not so... It doesn't really matter if you get resolve from species, right? Because you get such a little reputation generation. Not bonus, but like... At the beginning of the game, when you have like a couple of in each race and you get the resolve threshold, you generate so little reputation anyways. It doesn't really matter. I'm just saying this because I've been thinking about like tactics to, you know, increase resolve generation early game, but again, it doesn't matter. Like being at the resolve threshold when you have 22 beavers, 24 beavers for 1 minute is like, I don't know, like being at the resolve threshold with like, I don't know, 5 beavers for 5 minutes or something. So I guess it's mostly about being at the reputation threshold late game instead of early game. And winning that way. We picked up an artisan and I'm so pissed that this whole game we just could not freaking produce dye. So I didn't pick up a building for that. Because remember, both beavers and harpy... Look, we gotta buy everything from Sahilda here, I'm not gonna lie. Like grain, whatever. Big camp, who cares? We just have so much money. Cornerstone. Gain 1 crystallized dew for every resin produced. And we get resin from the most overpowered building in the entire game, the clay pit, right? So finally we can start producing like tools and some other stuff. Man. Still pissed about the dye because beavers and harpies both have... Throat really hurts. They both have education as a need and we have a tempo. We could have been so much faster if we could just create scrolls properly. No dye here. The stupid furnace is being offered like every time. We're gonna pick up the provisioner simply because of the flour. That's the only reason. Pack of provisions is nice. Barrels don't care. Already doing clay. Pottery, right? For the pickled goods. Just do a bunch of building materials. At this point, it doesn't matter. Like, it's so funny. Look, we are at 1 hour, 7 minutes, right? Basically, at the end of the video, look at the reputation bar. It's not even at half. This is so typical of Against the Storm, is just start winning really fast late game. We just need the races. Like, look, fine. At first, 99% sure, first time in the game, we get frogs to the resolve threshold. Wait, it doesn't even make sense, because... Okay, so 25. Wait, so frogs resolve threshold starts at 25? That high? That's really high. You know, like, again, like, frogs are like humans and beavers, but it seems much worse when it comes to resolve. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure the developers balance them in other ways, like this double yield stone stuff and whatnot, but still. I said before that frogs are the only race with free service needs, but that's not true. By the way, here's the forum. I'm getting offered the Explorer's Lodge 3rd time in this game. I just hate that building because it's completely random whether you get salvageable buildings or not. Obviously, frogs help with their starting ability, but that's still just... We still only found just one, and we opened like 4 glades already. We still only found 1 building to salvage. That's just 1 extra resolve point with the stupid Explorer's Lodge. We don't need the Explorer's Lodge. Form is better if we can create wine later. And look at that, plus 15% to double yields. That's pretty decent. Wait. Okay, I assigned the third. For a second, I thought I never assigned the third member at the forum. Like, this is the worst thing that can happen. Look, races are just under the stupid resolve threshold. That's the most wasted materials ever. It's so crazy. At this one, we are winning really hard, but we are losing really hard too, because hostility is at 6. And almost all the races want to leave. Look at that. Harpies, frogs are leaving. Beavers are at 1. But, you know, normally this wouldn't be an issue because their resolve is so high. It's gonna take a long time to get down to 0. But because the storm season is twice as long. And I'm not 100% sure, but some higher prestige levels, I think they also lose resolve faster. We're just gonna get there super fast. Look at that. We were already there and we are forced to disable the woodcutters. If you're enjoying the video, it's really late to say this, but press the like button, comment something, and then subscribe for more. Again, I don't know if I'm gonna keep uploading the replays here or the main channel, but I'll make a video here anyways. If I do decide to only post on the main channel, I'll make a final video on this sport channel to check out the main one instead. But we'll see. Just getting more people. At this point, we are getting +2 villagers at every newcomers. Upgrading all the frog houses. Doesn't really matter. Getting look at it. Getting +3 to fabric is just such an overkill. Getting +3 to fabric there is a 250% increase to fabric yields. That's crazy. Instead of creating 2 fabric, we create 5 at the weaver for like absolutely no cost. Like two whatever plantation stuff. Look, in 4 minutes we're gonna get like 6 reputation points. Stupid Explorer's Lodge. It's the 4th time we get offered that. It's so dumb. Apothecary creating not pickled goods, whatever it's called. Porridge. Just get into another glade, just complete it quickly for the glade event, for the reputation. Just do like 1 abandoned cache. We are creating tools. Again, we get like crystallized roof for whatever one of the cornerstones. It doesn't really matter, because the building that creates the tools is also where we create the boots. So the 2 beavers working there are extremely slow creating the tools. This was not a settlement for tools, definitely not. Our artisan died. Okay. And we are pretty much done here. Gonna throw down a cellar. It's crazy. We're gonna get 3 reputation points in like 1 minute. That's crazy fast. Look at that bar. 1.3. The max I had was like 1.6 or something like that. Maybe 2. Bam. That's what you want to see. All 3 races completely satisfied. At this point, there's no point. I just want to win even faster in case we hit the storm. We could just complete the order. We had an order to construct 20 aesthetics, and I was just missing 4. But we got the glade done, so it doesn't matter. Renovator, upgrade any buildings like 20 times. Yeah. Thank you so much for watching. Check out my other videos, and I shall see you in the next one. Bye-bye.